Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, tech, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Live with Reatha and myself.
Hello.
There's Reatha.
It's a good morning.
Well, listen, Reatha's back from her 10-mile jog. I give her a lot of credit for getting up and out in the morning.
That did not happen.
No 10-mile jog for Reatha. All right. But Reatha, I thought we were turning over a new leaf here. What happened?
Yeah, that has nothing. I heard a report just yesterday. Don't start up back because you've got all this free time. Don't start back doing longer and more at the same time. You will break something.
You'll break something, yeah. We don't want to fall down.
You will break something.
Another congratulations, Derek, for the on being on the cover of the Business Innovation magazine, Innovators magazine, and I'll tell you, Read the book, The Influence Effect, is an explosion out there. This is amazing stuff, and I love reading that. And you got your article in there. I've got mine. So many people. And
I heard my article was in there. I don't remember what I said, so I look forward to seeing it.
We got to keep up with this stuff, and the walls exploding, and there's so much stuff. And the animation. Did you see the animation? That's pretty cool. I look so much younger.
I did. So does Eric.
Yeah.
I haven't seen yours, but I've seen Eric.
Well, I got a hat on, and I look like I'm like 25. I like that.
Oh, my.
But with that, Reatha, I think it's time to rock and roll into our topics. Our hot topics.
Hot topic time.
Ripped from the headlines. Today's hot topic.
Well, my hot topic this morning is wear your mask. I know it was my hot topic last week, but it is not working. It is definitely not working for people not to wear their mask. You have to wear some type of face covering. And it's not just protecting yourself. I understand you want your rights, but don't take or violate my rights in the process. It's not good. So we need for people to wear their masks, to socially distance. I worked on a project. I've signed a non-disclosure thing. I can't say anything about what it was. And it's very clear to me that on the set, people are going to get very uncomfortable wearing their masks. It's impossible to stay 6 feet apart. I don't know how we're going to make movies and TV and commercials with the restrictions that we have. So brace yourself. Get all the TV channels you can now, because you may be watching reruns for a long time waiting for new content. But whenever possible, wear your mask and socially distance. I'm starting to know people closer and closer in my circle that are being affected by this disease. So I'm begging you, wear your mask. And, Jim, what's your hot topic today?
Well, the COVID crisis is getting a little worse. I try to put some positive spins on things, but basically, it seems to be you got to kind of get your act together with this mask and the distancing and so on, because it's like a give and take. You go ahead and give the freedom out there and go ahead and forget the mask, and you would start opening the stores and getting together, and then the rates start going up, and they start shutting things down, and the COVID rates go down. So we got more retail companies are mandating the wearing of masks in the growing number of these infections. 71,000 cases reported Friday, bringing the number to 3.6 million. a lot of the hospitals in some areas are at capacity. Florida reported 12,000 cases on Sunday, 5 days of surging numbers, a story similar to a lot of the cities, and the death rate surges in 21 states. So half the countries are talking about reprogramming and going back to the shutdown. Federal teams stay in Portland after confronting the protesters there. And the president said he doesn't have any problem with the protesters, but just not the violence. Russia tries to steal vaccine. U.S., Canada, and the UK are accusing Russia of spying on vaccine researchers. And so, that's an ongoing story. Several news outlets are showing Joe Biden in a leading position, leading President Trump by 15 points, but the inside researchers don't agree. Among those who say that they are certain to vote, Biden his lead shrinks to 11 points, and among those who say they voted in 2016 are, basically that little poll, you look at this, that drops down to 7 points. And then there was a random selection of about 1,000 people, and they're talking about 3.5. And a lot of the people behind the scenes that talked some positive about Joe Biden that said, well, we're going to wind up voting for President Trump. So, it's going to go back and forth, and we're going to hear all these stories, and we'll see what happens. Morgan Stanley will become the first major U.S. bank to publicly disclose how much its loans and investments contribute to climate change. And talk about climate change, I don't have time to go through the weather throughout the world, but Australia and basically there's some really different type of weather that's happening in different areas of the world. It's not what they're used to. People that have been there for 90 years have said we've never seen this before as far as flooding goes and so on. Marco Rubio hopes UFOs are aliens, not Chinese planes. And we got this story on the interest rate, Reatha, and we're talking VA and FHA loans are about 2.5%. I've seen some even lower. So if anybody out there is interested in buying a home, this is the time, because the existing homes seem to be going fast. There's multiple offers on a lot of these homes because the new home market slowed down, and then you got a lot of people leaving cities. So in the suburbs, this is the time to sell, and it's the time to buy. Oh, with that, Reatha, we got to move along. I think we have a commercial coming up here.
Yeah, let's have a word from our sponsors.
Are you looking to accelerate your influence? EasyWayWall.com is a new site that allows you to promote yourself, business, brand, and your products as an influencer. You can share your ideas, receive comments, promote and brand yourself with the power of affiliation. Associate yourself and your brand with the power players of today to become leaders of tomorrow. Come and join the EasyWay Wall today. Sign up at wall.easywaybroadcasting.com or text EasyWayWall to 55678.
EasyWay Magazine is your best vehicle to advertise in if you would like to reach a quality database in corporate Hollywood. Not only will you read the stories and enjoy the content, you will also get to interact through social media and get to meet who's featured at the events, as well as get exclusive interviews from your favorite celebrities. EasyWay Magazine is a Los Angeles and Orange County-based magazine, but also reaches an international audience. Subscribe to EasyWay Magazine today by following EasyWay Broadcasting on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or EasyWayBroadcasting.com's website. To advertise, call 424-209-9290 or email contact@easywaybroadcasting.com. That's letter E and letter Z, because we don't do it the hard way. We do it the easy way.
Looking to take the next step? Join the EasyWay Network and become part of our EasyWay family. Host your own TV show. Accelerate your viewership, as you will be seen on platforms such as Roku, Amazon, Apple. Brand yourself and affiliate yourself with celebrities, artists, influencers, and power players. For more information on how to start your own show, channel, or network, go to EasyWayPromotions.com. To stay updated on all our upcoming events, text EasyWay to 55678.
Yes, indeed. The Easy Way. Amazing what Eric's created. And we have a a major wow, I'm impressed guest here coming up, a building and talking about a builder and an innovator, to say the least. Tom Chesser. Tom has been in the media marketing business for over 30 years. And, well, I'm not sure if he's a baby boomer, but maybe close. He provides third-party recognition and validation for his clients via 375, how about that, major media outlets, branding and positioning them on the web as an authority. Now, that's the way to do it. And indexing his clients on Google as an authority. Now, that's totally beneficial for your clients. Along with, well, let's, I could go on and on. There's so much stuff. Business innovators, wow. Tom, are you on with us? Because I can go on and on.
I am on the air with you guys. Can you hear me there?
We can.
Oh, I'm on boom. I'm on the easy way. With Reatha and Jim show.
And we got Reatha Gray with us, Tom. Reatha, this is Tom Chesser.
Hi, Reatha. How you doing? Hi. It's amazing to be able to sit here and, like we say, it's great to sit here and chew the fat with you guys this morning. You know what I mean? And
well, Tom, you have some accomplishment, and I had so much I wanted to read about you, but I'd be bringing you on saying, well, Tom, we don't have any time, maybe next time, because you got some interesting stuff here. And you know how to get somebody, how to pull out the benefits for people when you work with them. And you have business innovations, business innovators, and talk about outreach. Full-blown articles aligned with a list of celebrities like Dave Ramsey, Mark Cuban, Howard Stern, Jeff Bezos, Kevin Harrington, Gwen Stefani, Barb Corcoran. Wow! And you have this is what brought you into what you do? I mean, you could have gone in any direction. What brought you into this situation where you have an outreach like this? And are you a tech guy, or how did all this start?
Well, I'm not really a tech guy. I'm a media guy. You know what I mean? And I've been blowing up clients for years now. I started out with the Yellow Pages. You know that thing you put as a doorstop, or used to put as a doorstop, the A through L, M through Z. Yeah, you remember that thing? Kind of, like the old-time phones. You know what I mean? Well, I retired back in 2011 from Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages, AT&T Advertising Solutions. At a young age, and I am a baby boomer at the young age of 55, and I've been with the company over 25 years. Yeah, so and designing ads for the phone book and getting the right content out through placement of the ad, the size of the ad, but really it's the content is the king that people look at. So if you went to a plumbing contractor, you want to find somebody to come fix a faucet or a pipe blew up, you'd open up the phone book, right?
Yeah.
And then you go find that plumbing contractor. So now that that's not available for businesses anymore, they have to revamp their whole networking strategy and media strategy. So Google now, admitted it or not, is king, right? Google is king.
Right.
So
that's where I go.
That's where you go. That's where I go ever to look up. And so Google being king, you want to be able to be said that you're seen by Google as an authority brand, and you're seen on Google as an authority brand. Now, being seen on Google as an authority brand, people can get that. Simple SEO, pay-per-click campaigns, things like that. But to be seen by Google, to literally be seen by Google and chosen by Google to be the brand of choice is a whole new dimension.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do when I write the articles about some very amazing, we're in the news all the time, and I'm the media, and, I do press, and I do all this other stuff, and I go to events, and, there's a lot of great things happen out there right now. Some positive traction that's being done during a very difficult time in our life. And one of my customers has basically got the solution for COVID-19. It's a hand sanitizer, a disinfectant that kills it on contact and lasts on your skin as a sanitizer for 8 hours. If you spray it on a surface, I don't care, hospital room, whatever it is, hotel, school, that spray will last. That disinfectant will kill it on contact for up to 30 days. That's huge. That's groundbreaking. Nobody else could do that. Yeah, that's huge. So, solutions like that. So there's a lot of amazing stories out here, and some of my clients, including Eric, I love Eric, Alex Stern, James Dentley, and the list goes on and on and on. I've been able to position them for what they want to be recognized for online as an authority brand. And I just so happen to have 300 to 600 of my little buddies, let's call them my affiliates, if you want to call them that are major media, ABC, NBC, CBS, Boston Herald, just the list goes on and on. What they do, if I write an article about how amazing, Jim, you are, Reatha, if I write an article about you, automatically that article gets picked up within 24 hours, placed on each one of these websites for those major media networks. And then they put that article out as their article on their website back to Google. And all of a sudden, man, you wake up and you can say, hey, I woke up this morning. I turned on my computer. You wouldn't believe what I saw. 375 to 500 major media networks picked up my story in one day.
Wow.
How does that sound?
That's
and
amazing.
people talk about,
go ahead.
Sounds
like the best of both worlds. Best of the yellow pages and best of the newspaper.
Yeah, the internet now is king. Content is king. So you just really want to position. So, ask our clients, what is your story? What do you want to be recognized for? Oscar Wilde, the philosopher, once said that, you get upset when people might be talking about you. You know what I mean? But you get more concerned if people aren't talking about you.
Yeah.
Right.
And bad publicity is better than no publicity. So, needless to say,
that's
I'm not true. Asking you the question, how did you, blend into the new age of media? Because you seemed like you kind of took off with that. And it is a new world today. I mean, it's a totally new age. And with this stuff that's going on, it's even more beneficial for what you do. Because, everything's transitioning now. Everybody, and when this is kind of over, I don't think it's going to go back to the same as it was before, because people have adapted so much.
You're absolutely right. I mean, people talk about a new normal. There's no normal. I don't care what people say. There's no normal. I've been studying in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been at a event over here, and the mask, the social distancing, all that stuff is huge. I mean, you got rooms of people, 150 people, but they're divided up all over the place. The tables are spread apart. The chairs are spread apart. It's really a new look of how events are being conducted now that they're able to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything's a little bit different.
But I've heard that everything's going to close down again, though, because people just aren't doing what they're supposed to.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, and it's mostly. I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
See if you guys can figure this one out. The associations, the selling of bales of hay are becoming popular. Now, how does that work into the restaurant business? Either one of you?
Selling of hay. Huh.
You don't. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine.
The selling of bales of hay are going up because of the restaurant business. Because what they're doing is they can't go inside, so they're doing it in the parking lot, and they're outlining the little area where people can sit in the parking lot with bales of hay. How about that?
Oh yeah,
that.
I haven't seen any bales of hay in Las Vegas yet. But you're absolutely right. So these hotels are mandated to have people wearing their masks, social distancing. They're doing the best they can at that. But the problem is people are not complying to what they need to be doing.
So
you'll see people out there fussing and screaming and crying and cussing. I don't want to wear this stupid mask. That's not my rights. Well, your rights, honestly, I think, Reatha, you'll agree with me on this one. Your rights end where somebody else's nose begins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you really don't have the right to put me at harm's way.
Exactly. I told you something I heard that I was kind of surprised. This is supposed to be second wave? No. This expert said this isn't the second wave. This is the initial what's going on. whether we open or
Right.
close, it's nothing to do with the wave. He said the second wave that's going to come will be more in the fall. So, oh boy, hold on to your hats, huh? So we're riding something here. So, Tom, you're moving along, and this is really beneficial to people. And I bet you're probably getting a lot of interesting reactions. A lot of people. You had a little deal. You put Eric on the cover. How was the results of that?
Well, it's going viral. It's going viral on all social media channels that he has, that I have. People are paying attention and standing up and recognizing, the easy way wall of fame and the power of what Eric is. And, Eric's a real influencer. Eric's the real deal, and now to be able to get the publicity, if you want to call it the publicity, to get the recognition from not himself so much, but from third-party validation. Because you're not what you say you are. You are obviously what other people say you are. So It's important to have the right story out at the right time. But, if you're talking bad about me, I might not like that. But I really would prefer everybody talk about me the very same way and how great I am, right?
Yeah. Tom, we're getting a little feedback from your background.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if there's movement or something. Yeah, we're hearing a little bit, so we want to hear everything you're saying. People are really tuned in. So what you're doing is so many people are reaching out, and it's like they're out in the ocean with, they want a life preserver because, with what's going on, look at these shopping centers. These are big companies that have been around a long time, and they're just fading away. We have a huge center out in this area, and it's not only closed, the buildings are being torn down. They're turning the center into something else, and so you're opening the doors. And so are you finding out, or are you anticipating, more of a change that's going to be coming up? You're seeing the results of the people you're working with. What do you see for the future with a lot of this?
Well, a lot of this, as you get your message out and you show how amazing what you're doing is transforming lives, that just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. So clients that I talk to, I've been promoting products, I've been promoting services, I've been promoting people, events, the whole 9 yards. And one of my clients is called Grout Sensation, and I was promoting the fact that their tile cleaning solution cleans tile better and easier and everything else, and they are in over 1,000 Ace Hardware stores across America. So they wanted me to write that article so that they could take that article and go run to True Value and get into the True Value stores. By doing that, it gives them the push they need. It gives them the validation that they're craving, because right now that's the most important thing, is getting recognized, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And Reatha and Jim, you guys are powerful people. What do you want to be known for? What is your story that impacts the world that you'd like out there on a major scale?
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many people, that authors, speakers, people in entertainment, like Reatha. Reatha was, do you remember Betty White, Tom? You remember Betty White?
Yeah, Betty and White and I dated several years ago.
See?
If you believe that.
Oh, my.
I'm kidding. That would be a good one to put out there.
Here.
In my dreams, no, Betty. Yeah, I know Betty White.
Well, Reatha was Betty White's co-star in Off Their Rockers. And look at the difference in the generations and how things transform to, what you can do. It's no longer 2 tells 4 tells 6. Now it's 2 tells 400 tells 60,000. And with the outreach you have, that's that's totally amazing. You're putting together quite a scenario there, and it's probably altered your life a bit too, because you could have gone out and become an architect or become this or that, and you chose the field that you have. But it looks like a very interesting one too, because you come across so many interesting people.
You got that right. There's so many interesting people doing some great things. I've been associated with City Summit, City Gala, Habitude Warriors, CEO Space. My clients are millionaires and billionaires, but they're people that have a story. I don't care if they have all the money in the world and they might be recognized, but they still want to be, recognized even more for what they're currently doing. So it's very important to keep that active, because sometimes you're not on the top shelf and you're in the background, but people still want to get the recognition that they think they deserve. So, yeah, I've got a lot of great clients. I get to go everywhere. I'm the press, all that kind of fun stuff. But what I'm really more interested in right now is what stories are changing the world. What is your story that can make a difference?
Yeah.
How can you inspire, connect, transform, and impact the lives of people in your city? So after doing what I did and retiring, this was the obvious choice for me to step into.
Yeah, I think another thing is not only wanting them, they want to get out there and so on. I think a lot of them want to leave a legacy, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And by doing their book or whatever it is, they're making their mark, or however you want to say it. And boy, I'll tell you what, we give you a lot of props, or whatever you want to say, because you're definitely changing a lot of lives and making you're fulfilling their dreams a lot of times when you could take them to these next levels, And hope you enjoyed your run-in with Eric, and it was.
Oh, you call that a run-in with Eric? Okay. Eric, I think you're listening to the show, buddy. A run-in with Eric. Yeah. The funny thing about Eric, and I know I might not have much more time, is I wrote an amazing article. I call it amazing because I wrote it, but about James Ditley and being awarded the Easy Way Legacy Award at your gala, Eric's gala. And Eric really never saw the story until recently. And when it finally came and he got the attention of it, wow. He really went out of his way to hunt me down. And, so I think with what you guys are doing, the Easy Way wall, the Easy Way gate, everything that's going on, the magazine, the shows and everything are spot on. And it's kind of exciting to have that type of content.
Tom, are you on
the
wall?
Are you on the wall? Oh, yeah, I'm on the wall.
Right.
One of these days they'll make...
So if people want to get in touch with you, all they got to do is check out the wall. And
check out the wall.
Tom Chester will be there. CHESTER?
No, it's CHESSER, like the chess game you play. The moves you make.
All right.
Chester.
That's why I always try to spell it. You never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So they can look at me on the Easy Wall.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
The wall is definitely the way to go out there. We appreciate you taking your time to come on, and we'll be talking behind the scenes and seeing what's going on here. Got a lot of stuff.
Well, good. Just all the good stuff out there. Just keep talking about it. It's happening.
And I wanted to mention, you went to seminary, didn't you?
Yeah, I graduated from seminary many years ago. Was in the ministry for 15 years. Pastoring, I traveled for the church. I did all that. Youth pastor. I did that. This really, to be honest with you, Jim, is my ministry. This is a God thing for me. This is something I'll give him all the praise and all the glory and all the credit for, because he's putting me in front of some amazing people. And I tell people all the time, and I'll just share this on the show, that my prayer every morning, every night before I go to bed is, Lord, lay somebody on my heart and love that soul through me, and let me do my part to win that soul to thee. If you're out there edifying people and blessing people, it's amazing if you pray that prayer, how many people God's going to put in front of you during the day. It's amazing.
And we need it nowadays. Somebody needs to be praying for all of these souls that are out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't let anybody ever fool you guys. There's a lot of great people out here, and God's not dead. God's alive. And if you don't believe it, now's the time you're going to see it shine. Now you're going to see where the real miracles come into place.
Exactly. I've always said it's not just the prayers, but it's the belief and the faith in those prayers that makes impact, makes them work. And you're a faith-based man. I was impressed. And you have quite a background. and we appreciate what you do for everyone. And we want to thank you for coming on Radio Boomers Live. And
boom, baby, boom.
I'll tell you, yeah, you got it. And so we'll be touching base with you. I'd like to have you back. And
yeah, sure.
Really exciting what's going on, and looking forward to rock and roll with you in 2020 and 21 and so on and so forth.
Yep, great days are ahead. Great days are ahead.
Focus
on the positive, not the negative. Have a great day.
Oh, you got
Enjoy
it.
the show.
You got it.
You too, Tom.
Thank you much, Tom. Very interesting, Reatha. Well, with that, I believe we're going into a commercial and then Carmelita's Corner.
We'll be back with Carmelita.
Are you looking to accelerate your influence? EasyWayWall.com is a new site that allows you to promote yourself, business, brand, and your products as an influencer. You can share your ideas, receive comments, promote and brand yourself with the power of affiliation. Associate yourself and your brand with the power players of today to become leaders of tomorrow. Come and join the EasyWay Wall today. Sign up at wall.easywaybroadcasting.com or text EasyWayWall to 55678. Looking to take the next step? Join the EasyWay Network and become part of our EasyWay family. Host your own TV show. Accelerate your viewership as you will be seen on platforms such as Roku, Amazon, Apple. Brand yourself and affiliate yourself with celebrities, artists, influencers, and power players. For more information on how to start your own show, channel, or network, go to EasyWayPromotions.com. To stay updated on all our upcoming events, text EasyWay to 55678.
And now it's time for Carmelita's Corner.
Carmelita's Corner. Let's rock and roll with Carmelita. And there we go.
You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the godfather of soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Well, hello there, Radio Land. We've got a great guest coming your way today, and his name is Wayne Hoggett. He is a multifaceted production artist. He's an accomplished composer, recording engineer, documentary filmmaker, film editor, visual performance artist, master percussionist, multimedia inventor, and more. Oh, my God, can I go on and on? But I've got to save something for the show. So before we head out, I've got to bring on Wayne Hoggett. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning, Carmelita. How are you?
I'm doing well. And
great.
Your bio reads like a book, so we would still be on the air just reading your bio, but I find you to be a very fascinating person, a very accomplished person, and a very well-loved person. I'm amazed at how many people that I've run into that have had nothing but accolades to say about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well,
Thank you
we were speaking earlier about some of your background, which started at the bright early age of 10 years old. Can you tell our listening audience how you got involved in the tech industry as an engineer and all of the things that you do?
Yes. I have to shake my brain a little bit there, but I first want to thank my friend Two Drum Jimmy for introducing you to me, and Eric Zuley, who I've worked with for many years. But yeah, I was always kind of, I guess, creative. So I started out like I was 10 years old with my first tape recorder, and I would record things around the house and try to. I was always interested in sound, so I just, as a young man, I stayed with it. I bought my first almost professional tape deck when I was 15 years old, and I was working at a Woolworth department store, which kind of dates back to a certain era. And I would do experiment with the speed controls on the tape deck and do radio shows with the neighborhood kids. And so at that point, I became so interested and creative with sound, I decided I wanted to be a recording engineer, because at the time I was actually a musician at the same time. So being a musician, and if you did recordings in the studio, I was there with all the sound mixers and the engineers, and so I was fascinated. I'd pick the engineers' brains and go get coffee with them and get books and read about microphones and tape decks, and that was, in the era. So I had to. I became a recording engineer, so I recorded a lot of bands on these formats, starting out with 8-track, 16-track, and 24-track, and now we're in the nonlinear digital age here with recording. So everybody's a recording engineer now. So.
Yeah, it's amazing how the technology has expanded. And while you're on the subject of being a recording engineer, I want to mention Sunburst Studios, that you were mentored by Grammy Award-winning engineer Bob Wayne, and that you eventually became tops in that field, and that you've done mixing and mastering for numerous recording artists such as Lakeside and Climax. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting at the time. Being a recording engineer, so there was a lot of talent coming through the studio there, and I had a good friend of mine, Stan the Guitar Man. He's a pretty well-known guitar player, and so he and I would, he knew a lot of these acts, and they would come in, and I'd do demos for them. And since I was interested in sound so early in life, I kind of had a natural feel for how sounds, and especially playing drums and dealing with acoustics, which a lot of engineers don't really study a lot of acoustics now because everything is kind of electronic in the drum machines. But that is the foundation of the recording studio there. So that's how I was got to be exposed to all of those talents. And sometimes they'd ask me to just play drums on it, and as well as record them.
It's a wonder that you and I didn't bump into each other there at Sunburst Studios, because I actually did one of my recordings there some time ago. You're talking about the same place that was located in Culver City, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, then you probably know Brent Backus. I'm still working with Brent.
I know H.E.B. Barnum and.
Oh yeah, H.B. That's a good friend.
Yeah, that's amazing that we didn't cross paths there. I don't know when that was, but I was obsessed with recordings. I mean, Bob Wayne was very kind to me. He kind of mentored me. I already had my demos, so he was impressed with my demos. And so when I got in there, he kind of gave me a proposal that at the studio was, he gave me a certain rate that he'd pay me, but if the studio was available, I could use all the downtime. So I'd be in there more than the clients, actually.
That was a pretty good deal.
It was an excellent deal, and he was very, like I said, very generous. And so I would experiment. And during that time, the video revolution came about, and I got into VCR repair technology, which led me into video production, buying up all the equipment. And so I would try to lock up the 24-track machines with multiple cameras at that time, television studio atmosphere, except for they didn't have the 24-track going on there. And I'd bring a lot of people in and experiment with them, which led me into some areas of design and innovation. And because I already had an electronics background, engineering, and so I would experiment with AV equipment. So it kind of led me into another part of my career as an innovator, as a inventor. So that's a lot of the work that I do right now is concentrating on multimedia. So it's been quite a journey.
Wow. Well, I'm very pleased that we've have passed crossed paths, and that we're now actually working on a joint venture, which is a labor of love, and eventually it will be something that we will be able to give birth to the world.
Yes.
One day at a time, one step at a time. But
yeah.
I was honored that you actually asked me to do a documentary of my life, and having seen all of your background and so forth, I'm really looking forward to another work of art on film.
Yes. Well, you know, as we got to know each other with your talents, we were kind of in line with the multiplicity and multifaceted abilities that we have here. I was really impressed with the amount of talent you had in different areas, and it wasn't like just a brief summary of a talent. It was like you had the full-blown abilities to do in the art and in music, and it was like a lot of my family. I come from a very artistic family, so we kind of are in the different mediums. So you reminded me of my family in some way. So I thought it would be interesting to document and capture some of your life history there.
Well, speaking of your family, I actually had your sister as an artist in one of the productions for the Rose Breast Cancer Society, which is a labor of love. In my case, it's a living memorial for my mom. And she was one of the artists that graced the Rose Variety Art shows. And, you know, she's also a very talented artist, and we crossed paths again when Lena Kennedy was having one of her fundraisers out in Pasadena at a huge estate. You know, the house was like situated in a like a park when you were in the backyard. It was really amazing, and there she was with her display of art.
She is phenomenal. I can say that I've followed her career since childhood. So she's like 5 years old and 10 years old, and she's become such an accomplished artist. And I know our families inspired her as they've inspired me, creative. Yes, I'm very proud of my sister. Very proud. She's amazing work.
Yes, and I also saw her when she did a tour of one of her installations at the museum over near Exposition Park. She had a whole section, and she explained everything in such a way that, you know, you walked through history with her. She was just really remarkable.
Yeah, it's called Bloodlines. Actually, it's a historical documentation of our family, starting from slavery. My uncle is into genealogy, so he wrote some books, and then Tony took it to that level. And then I'm the other historian in my family, as a videographer. I've been shooting all my family's growth in art and their skills for the last 20 years, I guess. So I have quite a library of all of their growth. So it's been very inspirational as an artist to have your family, and have these different skills and stuff. So when we all get together, we're all like, it's like a multimedia frenzy, so to speak, you know. So one thing, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, so I became, out of those multiple skills that you mentioned earlier in the show there, I decided to be an innovator because I kind of mastered all those different skill sets, and I wanted to combine them together, but I didn't want to let anything go. So I decided to design interactive music equipment and stage units and things like that. So I didn't expect to be in a world of intellectual properties and patents and provisionals and all this and copyright. So I got to learn a lot about that area of it. But I have a catalog of inventions, and this recent project I'm working on is called Languages of the Drum, the Voices of Culture. Has to do with the languages that each drum carries in each culture. Because me being a percussionist, I understand all the different drums that the voice in each culture, and it's amazing how those drums, or the rhythms of drums, are all connected with the human experience, where there's no, how can I say, diversity or race is not involved. It's something that it's innate in all human beings. So I'm trying to do a showcase, and I've designed a interactive performance system to go along with the showcase to represent all of these cultures of drummers at one event. And I plan to kind of orchestrate music, kind of my own music, I guess, but interconnecting all the different rhythms and all the different drums, and along with this performance system I'm designing here. So it's been a struggle, but I've done my homework. And so I'm at the point now I'm trying to get to my GoFundMe page and get up some money so I can build the system that I designed. It's patent pending right now. And I have all the tools I need, and the technology keeps changing, but I have to kind of redesign it as the technology moves along. But so I'm kind of like looking for investors right now to kind of help me build this system, so I can do live performances with all these different drummers.
Wayne, I'm sure you've come to the right place, because
okay.
I think all you need to do is get on Eric's Wall of Fame and connect with some of these people that are involved in that community. I mean, it's growing. He's got over 200 and some odd members now, and he's put me on the Wall of Fame, which I appreciate, as one of the first people that he placed on the Easy Way Wall of Fame. And I just was amazed with how many people are following me now.
You know, I've met Eric. I was at a fashion show filming, and then Eric, he was kind of like looking at me, kind of intrigued, like, what is he doing? And so we got to know each other. He had, I believe he had a celebrity with him at the event, and this is like really long time ago. And since then we've been connecting, and I've shot a lot of his shows, a lot of his events, and he's on my YouTube channel. At the early beginnings, when he was like the hardest working man in show business, so to speak. He always had that attitude, and so now that was then, and here he is now. Amazing.
Oh yeah, he's really branched out. I don't know how he keeps up with himself. He's just really always been amazing to watch and grow, and you know that he's on the cover of this Business Innovator magazine. That's put him out there even further. And so, yeah, as a matter of fact, he's going to be a guest on Carmelita's Corner coming up August the 3rd. So we'll be talking a lot more about Eric. But listen, okay. I want to jump back to the conversation when you were talking about Tony and how you had this project that you called Bloodlines, because I don't think many people are aware, but maybe some of them are, but people who have of African descent and being American, that there's been so many mixtures going on, and I guess you could call it not the melting pot, but more or less tossed salad, because people have kind of maintained their own identities. But looking at you, you can see your mixtures very clearly. I see the Native American in there, and you said somebody, I think it was your grandfather, was Italian. Can you tell us more about your family background in that regard?
Well, I did a documentary on my grandfather. He was it's kind of funny because he was an immigrant, but the story goes in our family. It's different stories within the same family about him. So I had to interview all my family members, not at one time, but separately. But they all had different stories about my grandfather. Now, my uncle would say that when he would drink, that he was black, and then when he was sober, he was Italian. And that's very controversial there. And then my mother said that, well, yeah, he was an immigrant that came over in the boat, and he made this American his home. And then my uncle says, well, no, he's from Texas. So I had to. So when I document all of my family members and edit the thing together, I show it around every Christmas time for the whole family, and they just get a kick out of it because they're all saying different stories, but they're all living in the same household with him. So, and funny about my family and back to Tony. Tony and I had a project called Art Scene about 20 years ago, actually, and we approached the Afro-American Museum at the time to promote this project, and they rejected the project. And then 15 years later, there she is with the installment of Our Family. I produced the whole documentary for her, and it kind of got her into art school. And then she just followed the trail, and Tony's innovative like the rest of our family. She grabs a little piece here, something there, and then puts it together, and it works. So I have a very interesting family, and I'm proud to have document all of their growth. We have opera singers, we have photographers, we have musicians, we have poets, all within our gathering when we get together. I'm kind of the one that does all of what they all do. Mm-hmm. So I'm the innovator in that sense that I kind of see a little bit. A lot of my work is kind of visionary in some ways. If people see my YouTube channel, they'll kind of get a feel for it. So, and it was the show that came on before. I believe a man was talking about how would you want to be remembered. I like to be remembered as an innovator in multimedia, as a multimedia artist, designing all these systems.
That's a good thing. And continuing on about Tony and your Bloodline project, have you ever thought about doing some research like Louis Gates? He has a regular television show, and it's fascinating. My husband and I both enjoy looking at it.
I'm not sure about that. All I can say about Tony is I have her from her early stages of her art all the way to now. All of her beginning stages of how she accomplished what she's accomplished. Not to mention her husband, Darren Scott, the producer who produced Minister Society and Tales from the Hood. So I think the collaboration of that union probably sparked a lot of her ideas and platformed her with who she is now. So we're still kind of innovating. I have a project I've been trying to introduce to her, a campus that is interactive. I haven't gotten her to invest in or anything like that, but I think it would take her to another level if she would want me to build it for her. So that's where my mind is in creation and dealing with.
Well, speaking of creation, let's get back on your drum project again, because our listening audience, those that have access to Facebook Live, the video of your work is being played in the background as we speak, and that seems to be one of your latest projects. And we're getting ready to wrap up now on this interview, so if you just want to say a little bit more about that, then I think that we can say goodbye to our listening audience.
Okay. Well, right now it's in stages. The series that you're viewing is part of the viewing aspect of it, and then the other phase is for me to the performances, and there's a third phase where I designed this equipment so that they can all interact with each other. So I'm just piecing it together right now. So this is like the second installment of the languages of the drum, and it's fascinating to me to see how people react to rhythms in all cultures and how it is such a strong language. As you know, back in the day of slavery, we were not, coming from Africa, we were not allowed to play our drums because it helped us relieve the stress we were going through, and it also had a means of communication with the origin of Africa, when they used to communicate through log drums for miles and distances and saying, come over for a party or there's death in the family or whatever. So that was the first means of our area communication. And you see right now this technology is taking place, but that, to me, is the same type of means of communication through rhythms, but now we use dots and dits in binary language to communicate, but it's the same type of format. So I want to bring that out because it seems to be so much divide and differences between us that these days and times that I feel that this showcase I want to put together right here can kind of bring light to the younger generation and how we can all interconnect some way and have something in common.
Well, looking at the video of what I've seen so far, you showed all the different cultures. You showed the cultures from Japan and, of course, Africa and the European countries and so on, that they all have this in common and how it can help connect the cultures. And I think it's a very, very noble project, and I want to congratulate you on it. And on that note, as I always say, my friend Reatha likes to get in her Ferrari or her going-to-be Ferrari and ride off into the sunset. But we're going to get on our horse, and we're going to ride off into the sunset. So thank you, Wayne, for coming on. And before we go, can you tell them how people can contact you?
Yes, you can contact me through my email, waynehoggett@gmail.com. If anyone wants to be interested in investing in the project or being a part of the project, there are some definite rewards. That's WayneHoggett@gmail.com.
Very good. Thanks again, Wayne. Bye,
We'll
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Another amazing interview through Carmelita's Corner. And Eric Zuley's Easy Way TV, guys, doing a joint venture with superchannels.tv. Eric's building a virtual Viacom. This is some interesting stuff. It just keeps growing and coming in more and more. Reatha, this is amazing. I'm just trying to keep up. But
well, like Wayne said, Eric is the hardest working man in showbiz still.
But that this joint venture with superchannels.tv, this is some interesting stuff, and the term building a virtual Viacom, that it kind of fits the bill. But with that, Reatha, I think we're talking about moving on to a very patient, I could say, I hope, guest. Her name is Olivia, and she is an amazing lady. She lost her son. Not lost. Her son was lost, and she's a host. She's the founder of the Sky Alert Foundation, which we're going to find out about. Journalist, host. She has some. We're going to talk to her about drones in the air app she has, and she's starting a company, Mask for the Missing. Amazing lady. We're going to bring her on and talk to her about her situation. Olivia, are you on with us? Let's see if we got tuned in. Okay. Olivia, you on?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. How are you?
Oh, hello. All right. Did I get it right? As Olivia, right?
Olivia. This is Reatha Gray. Reatha Olivia. Hello.
Olivia. Hello, Olivia.
Hi.
So, Olivia, we want a big thanks for coming on the show, and I read about you, and can I give you a big hug? I know we're not supposed to do hugs, but we'll do a virtual hug. How's that?
That would be awesome. I could use one right now. Thank you.
We'll give you a big virtual hug. Like Eric has this, you put out the fist and, the handshake. Like the virtual handshake.
Fist or elbow? Yes.
Yeah. But, we want to, Reatha and I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us. And you're a very resilient, faith-based woman. And I appreciate that. And you're basically, I don't even know if you realize how your belief and faith and stamina affects other people in situations. And so we give you a lot of credit for that. Now,
thank you so much. Well, when we
had
lost
lost
with the missing suddenly. Well, I didn't lose my son. He's a missing person.
Oh, no, I say that. Yeah, I mean, you went missing, right? My error. So Skylar went missing, and that's what happened. He went missing. How many years ago was that?
It's coming up to a 5-year anniversary.
5 years.
So August 30th, 2015, my son went missing at 20 years old, which many people would think, oh, he's an adult. It's okay. They always leave. That's at least what the police told me when I had to make a missing persons report, which was very heartbreaking because when you know someone's patterns and characteristics and out of character, it's out of character for someone not to communicate suddenly when they live at the same household as you know something's wrong. But unfortunately, our laws are a little mishmash these days. Hopefully we'll be straightening all that out in the near future somewhere, as things change in our world. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, hopefully. But there are so many adults missing in the world and children. And when a kid is going to school and they live under your roof in the same household as their parents and they are going to college, they're still considered a minor or your child, if they're 21 and under, because there are laws called Suzanne's Law and Billy's Law. They both quote that. So the police and these laws are not on the same page. So it makes it very difficult to try to look for somebody that age because we really don't have a lot of help, which is why I started a foundation.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, you
That's
mentioned
right.
There's approximately 630,000 people are reported missing each year, and they say
more than
most
that.
are more than that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they say many are eventually located, and the most common age is 12 and older, and they say that's about 80%. And when I say regarding your son lost, this terminology means he's lost out there somewhere, and then the rescuing that's going on today, they're showing how today's new technology helps the rescue teams basically more effectively reach or search out for these missing individuals. Now, are you finding out over these last few years that you can kind of tap into some of this a little bit better, possibly help you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My app is not completely developed yet because we are in this coronavirus, which really wasn't part of the game plan as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So when that happened, a lot of things had to go on hold for a minute. We're getting there, though. And But I do know that with the drone technology that I've come up with, my idea, it has never been done before because I'm using a zip code system that has never been used ever for looking missing people. So in our country, I want to make sure that everybody has access to this app, the Sky Alert Foundation app, when it is released. It is not released yet, like I said, because of the virus situation. And so when that does come about, I'm going to have licensed drone users in every zip code in our country, hopefully worldwide someday, but in our country for now. And when somebody spots something that looks suspicious, some suspicious activity, possibly a kidnapping, manhandling, or woman handling, whatever they see that isn't right, it's absolutely, they can stay anonymous. It's absolutely simple. They just plug into a computer or their phone to the app to describe what they see, even if it's a little tiny bit of what they see, with the zip code, where they are located, and where they see this. That's all we need. And I'll have a licensed drone user in minutes deployed in that area, and we will get all the footage that we need immediately and analyze the footage and try to apprehend these people.
And the camera.
And everybody has a cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone nowadays. So, and they're capturing everything, and a lot of times people don't even know that they're capturing something, or they do know and they don't know who to tell.
That's a very good point. All that's going to be available with this app, via app. When nobody's names have to be released. We're hoping for a lot of complete honesty. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of a little bit of shiftiness out there.
Yeah.
People playing with us, but we hope to have some other kinds of rules in place so we can weed out those people. Right now, we're at a standstill and waiting for all this to come to life, to fruition, and hopefully that'll be very soon, But so my son that went missing, he went missing from San Diego County, California, Escondido. I don't know if you're aware of where that is.
Right.
Okay. Out in California, and I'm also on another mission because I wanted to travel the world here or the United States and talk to high schoolers, seniors in school, to warn them about fake friends. I want to put that in quotations, but I'm on here instead of writing. But fake friends or new friends that you meet in college that you don't know. So 2 guys lured my son from college to their supposed house in the middle of nowhere in all these hills and mountains. He took an Uber that day, which is how I could track sort of where he ended up at first. I don't know where he is now, but so when I went on his computer and I knew he was missing right then, that's why I went on his computer. I found the information. He took an Uber to these hills, and what's out there where these hills are, where the Uber driver dropped him off, is a foster home academy, the first one of its kind in the whole United States. It's called the San Pasquale Academy, and so it's kind of like a tiny college or something, college town where the students actually live there. It's like a campus.
Okay.
For foster. My son's not a foster kid, and my son's a young adult, so he does not belong anywhere near a foster home, right? So I really, to me, it's still a mystery to this day why he was dropped off by an Uber in front of that place. Well, so
Olivia, this is kind of a strange situation. You have Skylar went missing, and yet the next day his best friend went missing too. That's
no.
Really
It's all mixed up.
Okay.
Nope.
Another
child. No, another young adult, another 20-year-old, 30 minutes away from our house down in El Cajon, California. That's still San Diego County. He went missing. My son never knew this boy. To our knowledge, they're not friends. They don't know each other or anything.
Oh, okay.
Both boys look a lot alike. They look like they easily could be brothers. They weigh about 120 pounds each at that time. They were both 20. Yes, his name was Bear Diaz.
Bear. Skylar and Bear. Wow. Within minutes. That's
of each
other.
You
mentioned. I talked to. I was at an event with some of the ranking people in San Diego. I was talking to. I believe it was the district attorney, and I asked him, I said, with this trafficking issue, I said, what areas do you think are the hot spots for this? And she said, pick an intersection. In other words, it could happen anywhere,
Wow.
Absolutely. And a lot of times we think of it only of young women that are being trafficked, but young men are also being trafficked.
That's 100% correct. It's sadly, you are right. And it doesn't matter what age. They go from babies, which is super sad, to adult men, even up to seniors almost. Do you know what I mean? But the adult men are trafficked a lot more than people would imagine.
So
there's so many forms of human trafficking, though, you guys, from sex trafficking, drug trafficking, slavery.
Yeah. So when somebody's missing, a young child, it's like, boy, you're on the phone right away, and everybody's alerted. But when somebody is 20 years old, how did it go with you? Because, he might be out with his friends, and even if he didn't come home that night, you think, oh, well, So when did the alarm go off with you thinking, boy, what's going on here? I better start calling people? How much time?
It actually was a whole weekend worth of events because he went with those friends Friday, August 28th, his new friends from college, right? And he texted me because my son communicates with me all the time. I mean, we get along. We're both in the music industry and everything, so we're like mom and son, but we also have that friendly communication, you know. So he communicated with me until he was going with his friends. He named their names. I have 2 first names. They are Thaddeus and Eli, which a lot of people think those are fake names. To me, they're a little bit religious, or they're just names.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so he texted me that. Then he texted me a while later during the whole weekend about how strange those people were. It was a little bit too funny, whatever that meant. So I knew that there was something wrong. I kept telling him to call me. He never called. And he would stay there overnight. Sorry, Mom. He would text me like many hours later. Sorry, Mom, blah, blah, blah. We're having fun or whatever. That's when it got kind of weird. Then 2 women suddenly showed up there. Rich, listen to what he texted me. Rich, and they are connected. Connected to what, though? We don't know.
Yeah.
Rich, they are connected with passports, etc. They're taking me, Mom.
Well, wow.
That was the message?
Yeah, and then it goes, they want to go to, and it cuts off right there.
Oh, my God.
That's when I knew it was it right there.
And you still have trouble having the police help you?
Yes, the police they can make a police report, put it in their computer. I gave them information, flyers, whatever I've done, you know, but they really can't do much. And their hands are tied is what they tell me. If the person that goes missing is not under 18, they really can't help.
And that's what that was my point. When they're older, they're on their own. Well, he's an adult, or she's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
right.
yeah, but when it's suspicious, you would think that the police would get more involved, and that's pretty suspicious. I wish they would, and
I think that they really don't have a department for. They have a person assigned to missing person cases. One person. Here, right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Backlogs. They put it on a stack, with so many others, and then another wave comes in, and is there enough people to do this? That's why I give credit to these private investigation groups that can go out and they're trying to make a difference with this terrible situation.
I'm so thankful for the private investigators out there. God bless them, because there's no way. I've become quite an investigator myself, but the private investigators that I've worked with thus far and they're still working with currently are amazing. And I couldn't thank them enough, because emotionally, a mother shouldn't have to go through this. It's very, 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 very difficult. It's like the Twilight Zone for me. So to have somebody like investigators that care, that go out there, that do the research, that go out and do what they do, work their magic to try to help us. Yes, it is a blessing, and I mean every word of it.
And you're talking about, like you said, that terrible word, passports. That means, other countries. You don't know what countries. Oh boy.
Well, my son didn't even leave when I went in his room to see what the heck this was all about. After I read his text, walked in his room, and it turns out he left his wallet here at home with his ID. You can't get very far without your ID, unless some fraudulent person has passports and is connected to something, you don't know about. Mm-hmm.
Well, I give you a lot of credit for the resilience and the hanging in there and the faith that you have, because God cannot be outdone, and
no,
and you have that faith, and we're going to keep all this in our prayers, and we want to thank you for coming on, sharing your story with us.
Thank you. It's a complicated story. I mean, I'm going to send you, if you have a website or any social media, I'm sending you a little company that both Bear's mother and I have come together, and I have this company that called Masks for the Missing. So I've put my son on these masks, and she has her son on her masks. And I gave you a makeshift flyer that I'm sending it to one of your people. So you guys will have it soon today. And if you guys could share it somewhere on social media, that would be great. Mm-hmm.
And they can go to easywayfam.com, F-A-M, easywayfam.com or Easyway Broadcasting, and for communications. And we want to stay in touch with you and for all kinds of support, prayer support, and however we can help. We want to resource all this technology. And then, again, we thank you for coming on, Olivia. And I'd like to have you back on again because you're bringing a lot of support and belief and faith and hope to people. I think hope is another word, because you don't want to. You don't want to give up, right, Olivia? After so many months go by,
not ever.
You don't give up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up. I know my son's out there somewhere, and I have to find him.
Yeah. Okay. That's just it. See, so you're bringing hope to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Or they may have given up. Yeah, they may have thrown in the cards and said, and you give them inspiration. So that's really important. But thank you again for coming on and slowing down the pace for Reatha and I. And we're looking forward to having you come back on and chat a little bit. We really appreciate this. This is very serious and very important information and hopeful information you're getting.
About. Thank you for having me. I'd love to come back. There's so much more to talk about, trafficking, etc.
So Mask for the Missing. Mm-hmm. And the Sky Alert Foundation. Okay.
Yes. And I have a Facebook page called the Sky Alert Foundation. Anybody can go on there. I'm always putting up stories. There are always missing people that we're looking for. It's a great resource for people that like to help, that are sitting around during the coronavirus doing a lot of nothing or are bored and would love to assist, maybe do some research or go out there when they're driving. They might find a missing person. You never know. It happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So the Sky Alert Foundation. Okay. Sky Alert Foundation.
Facebook.
On Facebook. Good. Mask for the Missing. Well, okay, Olivia, thank you. And we're going to move along. And the clock ticks.
Best wishes to you. Best wishes to you, Olivia.
Prayers will be with you, Olivia.
Thank you very much. You guys are great. We will talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yes.
Boy, Reatha, this is it's hard to take in these facts. 630,000 people missing, and it happens all over. But you know what, Reatha? I think it's something that's kind of like overlooked by a lot of people. They don't pay attention to what's actually going on until it affects their family.
Well, right. They don't think it's real, like COVID. They just, if it doesn't affect them, they don't believe it's real. And then when I've worked at a sanctuary house in Mexico with trafficked women. I went down and volunteered there. And it's amazing. Some of these girls were 14 years old, and they acted like grown women. And then we would do something like play games with them or do something that a child at 14 would do, and they would immediately snap back into that 14-year-old. And you'd think, this child's life is ruined because she has been trained to behave like a woman, but she's 14.
Exactly. I can relate. I was a foster parent, and I worked with kids when I went to Cal State Fullerton. I worked with special ed department and so on, and the psychology and so on. And I had, I'm not going to say and so on anymore. I know that's not right. So anyway, I had worked with different homes, and I'd take some of the kids out in groups of 3 or 4, and I would take them to the batting cages or the golf range, driving range, different places. And I noticed, like, when I would deal with some of them, they started out, like you said, a little bit, withdrawn. But then when you started getting out and doing some of this stuff, their attitudes would change. The mind or the door would open for him a little bit. And it's really interesting. And hopefully we could find, and when you start getting involved in something like the foster program, you see there's so many, and with what Olivia was talking about, the numbers are staggering. There's so many.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully with this new technology that's out there, and like you say, the cell phones, people could just pull out their cell phone if they see something suspicious and film it, in a parking lot or something. And then they caught it on film and transferred over to whoever the authorities and help catch the bad guy.
Exactly.
But with that, Reatha, I'll tell you, I don't know what your plans are today. We're kind of getting out. People, no.
I was going to say I gotta go. No, I gotta go. I've actually got an audition. It's a Zoom audition, but an audition nevertheless. So I've got to prepare for that. So that's I kind of like this auditioning at home because you don't have to get out in the traffic. But it means you become the casting director, the costumer, the set decorator, the camera person. So you wear a lot of hats when you direct your own audition at home.
Yeah, time to put on your hats. This is what we were talking about earlier. People could get used to this. It's sure safe. Look at the big events we used to go to and how much it took putting them together. And now it's work when you do it virtually. I mean, ACR does them, and it's a lot of work on the computer. But it is less driving. And you're saving the parking.
And you don't do it every week. We were going to. There were times I was going to events every weekend, 1, 2, even 3 nights.
Oh yeah, you were always on the move. Well, I wish you luck with your Zoom, and knock them dead. Do a Zoom. What can you tell us what it's for? The audition?
No.
Okay.
They're especially not talking about anything that they're shooting now because they don't know if they're going to shut them down between now and the time they're going to shoot it, and they're probably going to shoot it if they're, fully invested in shooting 1, 2, or 3 days. They are real prone to maybe just shoot it anyway, even if they shut down. So they don't want you talking about anything.
Yeah, mum's the word. All right, well, with that, guys, I think the clock's ticking, and Carmelita's famous words, time to ride out in the sunset here. And
yes,
so
and I'm riding out on my imaginary Ferrari.
Your Ferrari. I didn't know. Cool. But with that, it's time for us to move along, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Radio Boomers Live, and do it the easy way, easywayguest.com. or the easywayinfo.com, and we got so much stuff coming up here, but we're going to be signing off, and remember to keep being positive through all this. They say wear the mask, do your distancing, and try to be safe. Other than that, for the baby boomers, keep moving and keep the faith. Radio Boomers Live next Monday morning. Reatha and I, 10 o'clock. But for now, Reatha, we're signing out.
And try to keep that smile on underneath.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, Star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the Easy Way Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.